Hi, my name is Darren from HCJ.tax, and we're the team that seeks to demystify that sometimes confusing world of international tax. And today we have the honor and privilege of speaking with George. George, can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you, Darren. My name is George Dimoff. I'm a certified public accountant, and I have a team of 14 senior professionals. And what we do is the same type of thing: demystify taxes as much as possible, and with a focus in international and typically complex situations.
Fantastic.
Now, staying with banks, I just have one more question on banks. What about those staying in the US, but they're using some sort of international structure for asset protection, estate planning, for example, the Cook Island structure that you would have mentioned previously? Could you comment on the challenges, if any, that your clients have found in getting the right banking relationship?
They're going to have to hit the pavement in a lot of senses. You might have to speak with more than one bank or find a combination of banks that works for you. And there's a lot of trial and error involved in this. And I have a couple staff members that we have staff that has worked from Western Europe before. And even with countries that are considered very politically favorable to the United States, even with those, you have some trial and error. What I would recommend is, if you're going to use the Cook Island Trust, and let's say that, and Darren probably will have some of his own recommendations, but whatever professional you're using to set up this trust structure, oftentimes they already have a banking relationship for you that knows that practitioner. Okay. This should not really be a do-it-yourself type of thing. If, for instance, if you go through us and you use our relationship attorney, okay, that sets this up, that relationship attorney, okay, has relationships with each one of the other points of compliance. Okay, whether that's bank, and he uses us for a lot of the tax compliance. So that's another example where somebody's created a Cook Island structure through an attorney. Well, logically, before you hire the attorney, make sure that they have all of these things in place. And oftentimes, a good attorney is going to have a network of people. I was speaking with a business attorney that he's not international in any way. So you would think this is off topic, but it's not, because when he's approached with anything having to do with business, he often is the first point of contact when these people need related services, whether those related services are accounting based or even if they're public relations based. Hey, who do I have some negative news about me. Who do I use to kind of, do some public relations, show that we're actually perfectly great. So this is just an example. A good attorney that's working on task A is going to have a network. So maybe think ahead of that. When you're hiring your attorney that's going to be creating your entity structure in the Cook Islands or anywhere else, make sure that they have a good team surrounding them for the other things you're going to need. Because I've seen this many times. Hey, I have an attorney created a business. Now I'm high and dry. I don't know what to do. What am I supposed to file, when, or trust in your example, in your question? Where am I supposed to file? How do I do it? Who do I contact? What paperwork would I need? How do I find out the person's legitimate, is going to be doing the tax compliance? So these are all, in the context of banking, same exact type of thing. What bank is going to not be a scam? What bank is going to be easy to use? What bank has the least compliance requirements and the least regulatory procedures they complete on their side to open the account, of course, legally for me? You always want to be in legal compliance. And that's kind of an asterisk there, is if something's too good to be true, just make sure to double check it. For anybody that's a client, make sure that bank doesn't have any sanctions against it. Make sure that bank is not involved in any activity that you wouldn't approve of. I always say honesty is the best policy, and always, you want to keep things clean, because it's just not worth having issues. And it's something where, anytime we have a client that approaches us that even seems like they're looking to do things with cutting corners, we make sure to tell them that, and we'll turn away clients sometimes if we don't feel comfortable with what they're thinking. So especially when it relates to banks, make sure that whoever's creating this entity trust structure has some recommendations for you, and check those out yourself. And again, you might have some trial and error to find the right combination of banks and financial institutions that will work with your domestic financial structure.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for that. George, if someone wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
My website is a great way. You can go on our website, which is Dimoff Tax. It's my last name. That's EIMOV tax.com. Or you can send an email directly at info@dimofftax.com. Those are two great ways to get in touch with us. We also have a phone number. You can also call us. And the best phone number is 833-829-1120. That's +1 833-829-1120.
Fantastic. Thank you.